way that our culture is kind of invading everybody else's culture because our ideas are kind of I don't know, becoming what they see every day as news and kind of telling them what to think about world issues.
Who is this, by the way? Who's
Anne?
again? Who's speaking?
Anne? Orsini?
Orsini. Thank you. That's actually something that meant that David or Danny Schechter mentioned, is that the American model becomes the model, and that what you did there is it's very interesting. You've put an imperialistic spin on the concept of convergence. So it's healthy to know that convergence is not always, free and open and democratic. No, it could have a very imperialistic connotation. So yeah, very good, very good. All right, very powerful statement at the top, taken from Convergence. Diverse content determines survival. So if the content of something can be distributed in many different ways, well, then it will survive. Like my silly example of Star Wars. If you can create a culture of people who like to put on pajamas and play with laser guns and lightsabers, well, then you've really succeeded in something. The essence is translated. So number 11, how does this affect scientific objectivity? Anyone have number 11?
I don't have a question, but I would like to.
Grab the microphone.
Well, I remember reading about Pierre Levy, that it was about collective intelligence. And I think that this is very interesting because if we think in terms of science, I guess this is the most assertive way to turn the information trustable. Because, for example, if we determine our objectives to understand that all the information that we can share is going to be used, or at least is going to be tested to create something better, for example, in terms of a group of scientists. If we think in terms of collective intelligence, it could be possible to achieve like a new kind of pyramid, I don't know how to describe it, in which we could trust in this information shared by the scientist communication, the scientist web, and I could say that this could legitimate the survival of the, I don't know, in the very specific case of the science or the technology. I could even assure that it could be the key to develop the collective intelligence, and not just in terms of science. It could be also in other fields.
Great. Yeah, so it would enhance objectivity. It would. I would have to agree. I mean, what do authorities want to do anyways, right? They want to keep their authority. They want to keep their power. In some cases, in many cases. So yeah, if that power element is taken out and put among the masses, then it might enhance objectivity. Yeah, right on. Right on.
The concept of objectivity has been in crisis much before.
500 years?
Well, maybe. I mean,
Descartes.
at the end of the Middle Ages, I mean, if we're going to find some kind of source, nominalism, at the end of the Middle Ages, there was a strong movement saying, like, there's no straight and clear relation between what I think, what I say, what I express, and what the world is. There's a separation between the things. But anyway, in modern times, in the beginning of the 20th century, there was a huge movement, trying to say that it wasn't that clear that you could leave out subjectivity of scientific observation. It wasn't. But again, with today's world, and how we build today's world, it's even tougher, to think about objectivity, But I have discussed a few times with my kids two different paradigms, you know? When I tell them, but this is the way it should be. And my 12-year-old kid answers, I don't care if it should be that way. This is how I see it. Okay? So he didn't even care, you know? I mean, when my father would do the same thing to me 40 years ago or whatever, you know, that it has to be this way. There was no answer, you know. It was like, okay, it has to be that way, and I don't want to do it, but and now the answer is no, I don't care. I mean, I see it this way, and if I see it this way, it's okay. So I think technology today is rising up this idea that really the objectivity, I don't care about that, you know, because at the end is how I feel, what I feel, how I interpret things, and that's the important thing today, right?
Absolutely, and that's a lot of how Lipovetsky was making his argument. People are not, well, they know the future is out there, but they know that the future is something that they need to take care of, and they need to take care of themselves in the future. So they're really not concerned with what the father says. Like, yeah, that's your world, this is my world. And with all of the things that we have to choose from to construct our world, I don't blame him. I don't blame Eugenio for not listening to you.
He shouldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Couldn't you turn back the slide before?
This one?
Yeah, this one. The image is on the right corner, upper right. It's an image, maybe you know, some of you know about Escher. Escher is a painter from the 20th century, from the Netherlands, and he did some fabulous work. And this is
Crystal ball?
no. Es un autorretrato.
Self-portrait.
It's a self-portrait of Escher, okay? And I like to ask my students when I show this image, it seems to be an easy question to answer, but it's really difficult. I ask them, what is Escher, according to this, you know, image, is Escher a right-handed or a left-handed? What would you answer?
Anybody want to take a crack at that in North Carolina?
Left-handed?
I mean, he could hold the ball with his left hand and be right-handed. I don't know.
Ambidextrous?
The clue here is as follows. Remember, a ball reflects the other side. Things that are, how do you say that?
Around?
Yeah, around, no. When you see things through a ball, you see them
Upside down?
upside down, yeah.
Reverse? Backwards?
Reverse, backwards, whatever. On the other. So the hand that is outside the ball, this is a question. The hand that is outside the ball, is that real hand or it's a reflection of the ball? If it's the real hand, then Escher is right-handed because he's sustaining the ball with the left and he's drawing himself with the right. But if the hand that is outside the ball is the reflection of what you're seeing through the ball, then he is lefty because he's sustaining with the right hand, not with the left hand. You see what I mean? Welcome to the virtual world.
All right, I'm skipping up to the slide about democracy. If we think about the evolution of democracy, and again, at the beginning of class, I asked us to be thinking about the evolution of technology, of concepts, and where we are now and where we're going. Democracy, I think, is a great example. Direct democracy, well, that died about 2,000 years ago, and then we had, certain people could vote, and then we had more people could vote, and then I'm thinking, well, where's this going? What is the future of democracy? Is it everybody votes? Animals vote? Things vote? Your shares in the world, do they count? And so I'm thinking that's some sort of a hyper democracy where everything counts, humans and non-humans. Remember the seamless web of the Matrix. Now, I chose this image of the little boy with the AK-47. I mean, he's not just holding an AK-47.
He knows how to handle it.
Yeah, and he's happy, he's proud, he's like, back up, bro. This is my gun.